Hey everybody, Rex here with another Team Fortress 2 Quick Tips video. This time I'm talking about melee combat, and yes, I've chosen to pronounce it melee. In the first few hundred hours I played TF2, melee combat was probably the most frustrating aspect of the game for me. It seemed like no matter what I did, I'd end up dead every single time. I even played on a Degroot server to try and practice, and I never really found any good tips videos on this aspect of the game, so hopefully I can add something here and help out your game. I think the most important strategy for using melee weapons is to time your attacks. Pretty much every new player just holds down the left mouse button and swings as fast as the game lets them. I did the same thing actually, but it doesn't work very well. You end up missing a lot and exposing yourself to counterattacks. Spammers also tend to just fling their mouse all over the place, whereas you really need to make sure you're facing the enemy constantly. If you can't see the guy, you're probably not going to hit him. What you need to do is move in suddenly, strike quickly, and then back off immediately. Waiting for the enemy to make his move, dodging it, then attacking when he's in close also works pretty well. If the other guy is using the spamming tactic, you'll find it's pretty easy to get your attack in between his swings. Another strategy that I find works well is to back the enemy into a corner or against a wall. You can do this by continually cutting off their lines of movement. You can also use your own body to block their movement or escape. This works really well with Girardied scouts who are trying to flee. When you limit their movement, you have a lot less guesswork to do about which way they're going to go next, making it much easier to hit them. This actually goes for any weapon, not just melee, and any shooter for that matter. Another important thing to realize is that there's really only a few situations where you should use your melee weapons, and most of those involve just having fun. The Pyro's Extinguisher is definitely a useful melee weapon. Medic's Uber Saw is great at building Ubers quickly. Soldier's Escape Plan is essential, not really as a weapon though. The Demo's Swords paired with the Charge and Targe are a Troll's best friend, and the Sniper's Girardi Bushwhacker combo is ridiculously good. And you should watch my tip video on that, by the way. But before you charge into combat with your fist drawn, you gotta remind yourself that every class but the Sniper has primary and secondary weapons that deal damage based on distance. So if you're up against a soldier and closing in with your melee weapon, he can just fire a rocket at his feet and do 100 plus damage to you. Or a scout can meat shot you with a scattergun for 100 damage. Compared to melee weapons' usual 65 damage per hit, you ain't gonna win that battle most times. A general problem with melee is that it's probably the most unpredictable mechanic in the game. Melee weapons seem to hit when they shouldn't and don't when they should, and have varying reach. They also seem to crit a lot more than normal weapons, and some of them, like the Medic's Saws and the NG's Wrenches, seem to crit more than others. So if you're in a melee battle, you basically have less control over the outcome because of the additional randomness. Melee can be really fun, and of course it's super satisfying to ×5 fish someone to death, but except for a few cases, don't rely on it every time to win a one-on-one battle. Hope these tips help out your game. Give it a like if you liked it, and thanks for watching. Later, everybody.
How close were you to actually hitting me with that?